We all have ran a mile before, whether it's in grade school, whether it's in college. Even as an adult, a lot of people like to run, me being one of them. And the mile is one of those things that's like the benchmark. It's like 225-pound bench press or 40-yard dash. It's like one of those benchmarks. It's like, hey, what's your mile time, especially in the running community? What's going on? I'm Coach Brian with criticalbench.com, certified strength coach, certified sports nutritionist, certified triathlon coach. I remember in early on, I think it was maybe 8th grade or 6th grade or whatever, we had to do the president's test, to see how fast we can run a mile. And I remember, never having to run a mile before, but getting prepared for this test, and it's kind of comical. Like, all right, so the mile is you're gonna run it next Friday. You've got a week out of training. So what do? You go beg your parents for a new pair of shoes, running shoes to make you look fast. And you maybe go once during PE class or gym class and you go practice a mile. And you get like halfway through and you're like, you know what, this sucks. I'm just gonna stop and I'm just gonna wing it on next Friday. And then next Friday rolls around, the test, the gun goes off or whatever, whistle blows, and then you start running and you're like, man, I suck at running the mile. You do a couple laps, you always see that one kid just flying through, a 4-minute mile, just jogging, breezing, waving at everybody, laughing, running backwards. But you're stuck like in the middle of the pack or even at the back of the pack. The last mile or the last lap, you're actually going to start walking. So hopefully, you see the need to run a mile faster, especially if you're a kid. It could be a traumatic time if you're the last one crossing that finish line. So whether you're a 20-minute miler or a 2-minute miler, that's impossible. There's always room for improvement, and it's always good to know that you can actually run faster. So if you're running a 2-minute mile, you're the fastest person in the world. But let's say you're running 20 minutes. If you want to run an 18-minute mile, that's a big improvement. So regardless, you want to always try to better yourself. And there's going to be a couple things that you need to take into consideration on how to run a mile faster. So long story short is that it comes down to conditioning. That's your number one, component to running a mile faster. Now, like I said, I painted an illustration of, you got a mile coming up. You're just going to practice maybe once, buy some new shoes, and kind of wing it. That's not really the safest and probably the most efficient way, the best way to running a mile faster. It takes practice. It takes training. It takes time. You have to be conditioned to running the mile faster. Now, my mile time does vary just because in and out of seasons, things like that, if I'm competing or not, if I'm focusing on strength training or not, I can't just go out and run a 6-minute mile every day, all day. I'm not one of those gifted athletes, or some people can. However, if they actually tried a little harder and did a little bit of periodization throughout their training, they might take that 6-minute mile and go to a 5-minute mile. They're running faster, right? And especially if you're a runner, you always want to make sure you're running faster and always beating the next guy. Because hopefully you're competing at some level if you're looking to run the mile faster. I know I got carried away a little bit there, but you need to be conditioned. And what does conditioning look like? One, you have to have a good program to follow. I'm not just talking a running a mile program, I'm talking a general running program. You need to be running, you need to be putting in miles. And not just lazy jog around the track miles. You need to be putting in intentional, hard training, whether it's on the track, treadmill, or on the road. Now, aside from that, you want to make sure you're doing strength training because speed is associated with strength. So if you're stronger, you're going to be faster, okay? If you're strong, you're going to be fast. If you're stronger, you're going to be faster. Makes sense? So you need to be training things like lower body, obviously, glutes, quads, hamstrings, calves. You also need to be focusing on specific power exercises like plyometrics. So again, back into the conditioning phase, you need to be also taking in consideration rest days and other sources of cross training. Because you don't want to be doing sprint work at the track or hill repeats every day, all day. You need to be making sure you're at least resting a day after you do your hard training. So what does this look like on a calendar? So let's picture Sunday is your day of rest and Wednesday is a day of rest. Just throwing that out there. Monday would be maybe a strength training day. Tuesday would be a speed day or a hill day or a sprint day. So then Wednesday would be your day off. Thursday would be maybe a cardiovascular day, like a cross training, going out for a nice longer tempo run. You know, you're just not doing speed work, but you're not doing just an endurance pace. You're just going out for a normal general run, 2-3 miles, whatever. And then maybe that evening you do some more strength training. And then Friday rolls around, you hit maybe more strength training, whether it's squats, deadlifts, lunges, whatever. Or you even get in the pool, do some swimming, rowing, biking, things like that. Saturday rolls around, you're back at it. Hill repeats, fartlek training, high intensity interval training. And the Sunday rolls around, you're resting. So hopefully that, it mimics or mirrors the type of training you're doing now. But then aside from that, it gets a little more in depth on how you personally can improve the mile, because everybody's training differently. Everybody is at different levels. Everybody has different needs. And that's when it boils down to, you might need to get a coach or do a little more training and research on your own to figure out what works best for you. Now, again, like I said, I'm a triathlon coach, and every single one of my clients and athletes is different across the board. I can't just go to Bob here and say, hey, Bob, here's your workout, and then go to Sarah and say, hey, Sarah, here's the same workout. It just doesn't work like that. Bob will need a Bob workout. Sarah's going to need a Sarah workout. Coach Brian's going to need a Coach Brian workout. Everybody's different. So I can't just say, all right, do this, do this, do this, do this, and expect the outcome to be the same. However, if you apply the same bullet points throughout, like I just mentioned, conditioning, actually putting in miles, doing the groundwork, strength training. And again, we have so many lower body exercise strength training videos on this channel here that I know you're gonna find at least one of them helpful. Just type in strong legs critical bench. We've got a video on there that is gonna help you with running. It's all body weight movements. You can incorporate things. We have strong legs for runners. We have certain mobility exercises. All these videos are geared to help you get stronger so you can run faster. All right, so before we end this video, there's one more point that I want to get across, is technique, or just getting experienced with running a mile. Like I said, if you want to run fast, you got to train. If you want to get faster, you got to train harder, faster, stronger, things like that. So if you've never actually pushed running a mile, so let me paint another picture. You did your mile, and at the end you're like, all right, I probably could have ran faster. Okay, so why didn't you? Just because you're uncomfortable with it. You're not experienced in gauging out how to run a mile faster. So let me break that down again. You have 4 laps. If you're running the first lap, moderate pace, you're talking your buddy next to you. Your second lap, you're picking up the pace a little bit. Third lap, you gun it, and then you fall apart. Last lap, you're walking. You're not experienced. You can't pace it out properly. And that boils down to experience. You got to get out, run a mile, try it out. But not only that, you want to make sure you're pacing yourself out so you know what it feels like to push it and give it all you got. So let's say 8 minutes a mile, 4 laps, that's 2 minutes a lap. 2 minutes every 400 meters. So that means you have to run 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. So it might be handy to get a watch out or an interval stopper or some kind of GPS watch so you can look down and say, hey, I'm running a 2-minute mile. Okay, so let's say you've been running an 8-minute mile for a long time, but you want to get faster. All you need to do is go, all right, instead of 8 minutes, 2 minutes a lap, I need to run a 1:55 a lap. So now all of a sudden you're running a 7:40 mile. That's faster, right? So, but that takes experience. Don't expect to run a mile next week and just gun it. It takes conditioning, it takes experience. But not only that, it just takes hard work. Running faster is hard. If everybody just started running faster, there'd be Olympic medalists all around. There'd be world records being set every weekend. It takes time and it takes commitment. So hopefully I didn't confuse you. Hopefully I gave you some encouragement and some motivation. Hopefully some useful tools too to help you running a mile faster. With that said, we have the comment section below, and I check it regularly. If you have a specific running question on how to run faster, or if you have a personal experience, or just want to throw out some feedback, post it now below. We'd love to interact with you, and I will personally interact back with you. And I'm here to help you. So if you got a training question, I'd love to help you out if I can. You can also go to my personal website, optimaxperformance.com, send me an email, and I should be able to help you out any way I can. Other than that, I want to send you something for free. It's a report that I wrote. It's called the 5-minute glute workout. It's going to be a great, just quick glute lower body workout that you can use to get your glutes stronger for running. All right, so the report is 5-minute glute workout. There's one of two ways you can get it. Go to this corner right here where I'm pointing. Under this video, there's a tiny arrow. Click that arrow and that's gonna open up our video description area. There's a link at the top that says criticalbench.com/glutes. Click that link, give us your email, and we'll send you the free PDF right away. No strings attached, I promise. An easier way to get this report is simply click right here. Go ahead and do that, give us your email, and again, the report's on its way. Subscribe to us by clicking here, and check out this video right here. I know you might find as helpful as this video you just watched. I'm Coach Brian with criticalbench.com. Thanks for watching and have an awesome day.